We can also extract information we need from a large data set. So we need to select all this information. So how do we do that? We're going to go to the left of column A right here. We're going to click this arrow. We're going to click it, and it's going to highlight all of our information in the spreadsheet green. So that's going to copy all of our information, and we're going to insert a pivot table. So we're going to go up to the ribbon. We're going to click this Insert tab. And we're going to click the Pivot Table command. That's going to open up a dialog box, and it's going to ask us to select a table or range. So WA sales products 2012 to 2014 with the absolute cell referencing of A through K. So that's what we have selected. So perfect. So where do we want the pivot table report? So a new worksheet for this YouTube video. We could use an existing worksheet, but I'm going to click OK. And a new worksheet will pop up. I'm going to rename this YouTube. Okay, so in step 1, we're going to put the retailer country in the columns. If you accidentally X out of here, you can click on the pivot table right here, hit right click, and then click Show Field List right here on the bottom. So I'm going to click that, and it's going to pop right back up. Step 1, we're going to have the retailer country, and we're going to put that in the columns. So I'm going to drag it on the columns, and you notice all of our countries pop up right here in our columns. So step 2, our product type and our rows. So I'm going to drag it. If you notice, all the rows are product types now. So step 3, quantity, we want the average quantity, and we want the average gross margin as our value. So drag it, quantity, gross margin, drag it. And if you notice, it says the sum of quantity and sum of gross margin. We want the average. So I'm going to click this drop down arrow. I'm going to click Value Field Settings. And a box will appear, Summarize Value Field By. We don't want the sum, we want the average, right? So sum, count, average. Perfect. And I want this to be formatted to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to click Number Format, and it's going to have categories. I want the number, 2 decimal places. Perfect. If we wanted a different one, we could change, but for this purpose, we want 2. So I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to click OK again. And then if you notice the average of quantity, the values change, so now it's not the sum anymore. So we want the same for the gross margin. So I'm going to click the drop down, we go to Value Field Settings, and then we want the Summarized Value Field By, we want the average. Click Average, and then 2 decimal places, right? So I'm going to click the Number Format box, number, 2 decimal places, OK, and then OK. And then, as you notice, the average of gross margin and average of quantity pops up. And for part B, we just want Denmark and Mexico shown. So how do we filter out all these other countries? So we're going to go to cell B3, I'm going to click Column Labels, and I'm going to click the drop down. And if you notice in the bottom right here, it has all the countries selected as our columns. So we only want Denmark and Mexico. So I'm going to click Select All, which unselects all of them. And I'm going to click Denmark, and I'm going to click Mexico, and I'm going to click OK. So perfect. Now we have Denmark and Mexico only, and then our totals. So for part C, I want to create a custom combination chart. So how do I insert a chart? So I'm going to go back up to the ribbon, I'm going to click Insert tab. I'm going to go over here to the chart section in the middle. I'm going to click Recommended Charts, and this box will pop up. We have all these charts to choose from. We want a custom combo, right? I'm going to go to the very bottom, Combo, Line on Secondary, Clustered, Custom Combo, perfect. So for Denmark, the average of quantity, right here, we want this in the columns, as a chart area in the columns, not the stack. So I'm going to go to Columns, Clustered, and then we want the quantity in the columns for Mexico as well. Clustered, it's already there, perfect. And then for the average of gross margin, we want those to be lines. So I'm going to go to Line, and then I'm going to Line. So I want also these average of gross margins to be on the secondary axis so we can view them and see their numbers. So when I click that and click that, as you notice on the right side, they pop up right here, and we can see them. So there's how to build a custom pivot table and chart. So after we click OK right here, it'll pop up, and there you go. There's your chart and your pivot table. And you can easily sub out information as needed, and your chart will change and your table. In 4th grade, I got a 98% of my project at the science fair. I made a paper airplane, and my physics teacher told me I had so much damn potential. Later that day, he took me up to the roof to try my paper airplane out, and then he pushed me off the roof.